George Washington University, at the intersection of policy, practice, and research, connecting all that Washington has to offer with an intellectual environment that drives progress, transforming vision into action, offering learning experiences that are rigorous, real-time, and real-world. In a city shaping the future, George Washington is a place where faculty and students don't just study the world, they work to change it.
Though we are many, we are part of something. A force. Bigger than all of us. Our distinct fingerprints collectively shaping and forever changing what makes UCONN, UCONN. Forever making our mark. Forever making UCONN a part of us.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to some more EGFC SSBU. As I always say, a lot of letters and a whole lot of fun. I am Sepulent, joined by the handsome and talented Killer Miles, and we are going to be bringing you a banger of a series followed up by another one. And Miles, how you doing, man? How's your day been so far?
Honestly, it's been fantastic, and it's even greater now that I get to see these teams on air. Because let me tell you, Sep, both these teams are on the come up in this part of the season.
Yeah, 100%. The last time I saw George Washington was when they were able to take out Mississippi State in what is an incredible upset, something they have done more than once, which is amazing because some schools have never beat Mississippi, but for George Washington to do it not once, but twice, and they have been on a tear ever since. Now, UConn, you're a little bit more familiar with them than I am.
Yeah, I am, because UConn last week, they had a bit of a nail-biter against... who was it? It was actually one of the heavy hitters of the EGFC league. It was... Oh, I'm blanking here. Either way, they had a really, really close set last week, and it was heartbreaking because they beat these amazing players like Mr. Man. And I'm remembering the players, but I can't remember the school. That's Mississippi right there.
Mississippi again! Man. It's the same
Mississippi
school.
Is also having a little bit of a hiccup, but they were able to beat UConn, obviously, but UConn was going like last hit, last stock with them and taking games from them. And, I mean, who was it? They have a new player who is a Ganon player who almost beat one of the best players. Listen. If there's anyone who is going to upset the upset gods that are George Washington, it's UConn. Let me say that.
Yeah, we have got quite the initial matchup here. Schultz versus Bowser, a heavy hitter against somebody that certainly can be. Starbucks going to be the opener here for George Washington University. And Cozy Wrath coming in quick, trying to find that speed Monado to rack up some damage. The problem is with Bowser, the dude's got to hit you maybe 3 times and you're at kill percent.
Yeah, especially, when you go for that Buster, if that up B with Buster connected, it could have been it, but you catch Bowser without a jump off stage, that's going to hurt. Going to recover, though.
Yeah, this is fascinating. Now, Starbucks is a name I recognize. This is a name from George Washington that I'm certainly familiar with, but the Bowser is not what I remember seeing. This is really fascinating to see the character swap has come through. Starbucks trying to change things up a little bit, and Cozy Wrath getting caught out by a phenomenal catch, 95-76. Only a very small percentage between the two of them, but as Cozy gets a great grab into forward throw, I expect some kind of offstage backup, and it's going to be that down air that finds Starbucks. Not able to confirm the stock.
However, they're able to use that up B to cover the ledge, and now you get a grab. Nice job, Cozy Wrath. They're able to keep Bowser at ledge, but the forward tilt whiffs, committing to these options without really spacing them correctly to catch rolls. But no need to catch a roll when that forward air will catch any option you do off stage.
Yeah, that forward air goes just insane, honestly. And speaking of forward airs, it looks like we're going to get a little bit of aerial action from Starbucks for just a moment. Able to find Cozy off to the left side of stage, trying to keep them there. But the kill confirm seems to be the area of struggle for Starbucks right now, which is something I thought I'd never say about a Bowser, but sometimes it really do just be like that.
Yeah, finding that one hit when Schultz controls, commands so much stage presence with that big old sword, that can be very difficult as that backslash finds the opening you need. Oh, somehow that forward smash does not connect with the fist, or the forward tilt rather. Ooh, hammering right into Schultz to send him off.
Hammering right into that Shulk to get the momentum moving, and Starbucks finally with that forward air going to be able to confirm that first stock off of Cozy. 115% on the second to smash Monado out as well. Starbucks a single hit from death off the left side of that blast zone. You've got to play an aggressive mid-stage game right now, so you do not give this stock away for free.
Yeah, but these aggressive up Bs right now from Starbucks are starting to get them out of that early percent where you could maybe get a combo hit or counter hit. Now, playing around this platform, you can see Starbucks, they want to use that forward air to get them off stage, but the speed arc gives you an opportunity to just run right off the drop zone fair. It's the classic.
A classic indeed, Miles. It's going to be a great opportunity for Cozy to try and walk away with 2 stocks if they can play their cards right. Starbucks needs to engage, in my opinion, perhaps a little bit more. I think we're seeing a little bit too slow of a play style. I'd like to see some more, I'm not going to call it hyper aggression, but just a little more general aggression. I think could go a really long way.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. You have to make Shulk afraid to be randomly switching around these arts, and you're not really doing that as now you have them off stage. Can you get the edge guard? No, and the disjointed recovery is going to get you back on.
Oh, what a funky trade. A weird thing going to be coming through there, but it looks like Cozy is going to find themselves on the positive side of it. As I say that, though, going to lose that second stock. Now only a single point can be earned from either side. Starbucks 114%. A little bit of rage in that back pocket. What a grab into the side special, but not off the platform. It's certainly not going to kill at 35%. However, Starbucks, I mean, they're really picking up the rhythm.
Yeah, they certainly are. That down air not going to be punished on the platform. Instead, it's going to be a side B. Starbucks clawing their way back into this. Kozirath, can you manage to find the punish? No, instead you up B on stage. Now you have to get back.
Cozy one side B from death here. I mean, this is a great opportunity, but it's going to be that down smash from Cozy that takes that final stock off of Starbucks. My hat off to that Bowser in particular. What a comeback story. And truly a last stock, last hit like you were talking about earlier. That's where UCONN loves to go, is that last stock, last hit situation.
Yeah, but in that situation, the scramble, you've got to be ready to cover as many options as you can. The up tilt, it was good, but then you commit to the forward tilt, that only covers one little area. That down smash covers everything around Shulk for a long time. That gives you, well, option coverage. No matter what they pick, in that panic situation, you're going to cover it. Starbucks was not quite as versatile with what they chose.
Yeah, Starbucks, I think there was maybe a little bit of pre-game jitters, maybe they're a little bit nervous, but as we got further into that series, they really did start to warm up. That last stock in particular, I mean, we saw them take 2, almost 3 off of Cozy on their final stock. That was a very close matchup, and I think if Starbucks can enter Game 2 the way they ended Game 1, if they can carry that momentum over, I think they easily take this to a match 3.
I certainly agree with you right there, as Starbucks, they were starting to get the edge when they were keeping Kozirath off stage and not overcommitting. That forward tilt, even though forward tilt's one of Bowser's safer moves, it is kind of an overcommitment. So we'll see if they're able to benefit from that wisdom. Try to avoid throwing out options like that as we go into our next set.
Moving into the next set, I would like to see more of that general aggression. We definitely saw it at the end. We got some great action there. We got some great value-making appearance from Starbucks. I think you just need to send it 10% harder. Come out the gate with that kind of energy. Don't wait until you're in a disadvantage. I think if Starbucks, like I've said, if they played the whole time the last 60 seconds they were playing, they would have crushed that series, no doubt.
And I do feel like Bowser is a character that thrives when you push them up against a wall. We've seen it time and time again. You have Bowser just one hit away from death, just one hit away from death, just one more hit, and you don't get it. You can never find it. Somehow this big old lizard becomes the hardest to track down character in the game, as they just keep racking up damage on you with uppies out of shield, with forward airs, everything hits.
Everything under the sun going to be hitting there. Like you said, Bowser is a character that hits like a truck. And moving forward, I wonder if Starbucks is going to bring that Bowser back out. I cannot remember who. My brain tells me that Starbucks was not always a Bowser player.
Yeah, I'm cramming my notes. I can't find anything on them, so I have to assume that they have been maybe...
I found it.
Honestly, I don't blame him for going to the Bowser. I do not blame him for going to the Bowser. That would have been... a little bit rough, as you still have that in your back pocket, and Fox is a little bit good for stuffing out Shulk's options, but because of how exploitable Fox is off stage, maybe, I wouldn't say, okay, I would say Bowser's a little more exploitable, but either way, in my opinion, it doesn't matter what I think, because Kozirath has been finding them.
Yeah, Cozy Wrath has been finding some great openings and some great opportunities, and like you said, a big part of that is because they aren't afraid to approach. Cozy can get up close and personal, can get really aggressive towards Starbucks, and Starbucks has yet to really find the appropriate answer for that. Goes for the grab, they're going to miss it and get punished. Really trying to find these coverage options, but it's just Cozy's shielding here that is going the distance.
Yeah, it is now, ooh, misses that space back air. Now you lost your opportunity, but you get another one immediately with that Nair comboing into fair. Nice damage right there, but again, if you trade every time with Bowser, Bowser is happy.
Yeah, 100%. That Bowser's happy to win those trades because it just really comes out of that weight, but that is going to hurt Cozy losing that stock, and they won by last stock, last hit last game, so it is really important to note that losing that stock so early can be disastrous if Starbucks can capitalize. If Starbucks loses their first stock in the next 10 seconds, it doesn't matter, but with the way they're already racking up 80%!
It was the Buster Art. It was on the whole time you left the lights on. And now Cozy Wrath eating 30% from like a half a second of Flame Breath is at kill percent at ledge against Bowser instantly. And that little mistake is going to cost you.
Yeah, that little mistake is going to make this go a lot further than it could have. 92% turning into 138 against Starbucks, but Starbucks still a full stock in the lead, Miles. That micro mistake, that small spacing error could possibly lose this second game here for Cozy and tie things up 1-1 for the series. And actually, with the way Starbucks is playing, we may see a two-stock victory. However, Cozy has turned it on, and they are ready to try and win this back from out underneath Starbucks.
Oh, but now they're in a juggle situation with Buster again, and they're not turning it off, which means they're going to grab up throw with Buster on. That was like a 20% throw.
Yeah, this is just a lot of damage being wrapped up nicely onto Cozy. They may be able to find the second stock, but 75% against Bowser, you're a half-decent hit from the blast zone. I mean, you are really in a tough spot. Cozy's going to have to play in a way where Starbucks no longer gets to play the game for this remaining stock and the following. And with the cheeky shots Starbucks has been able to find, I doubt we're going to be seeing that. However, this entire second stock, I think Starbucks hit Cozy one time, so now we are tied up 1-1.
Yeah, and going to the Buster here, I don't mind that at all. If you're going to take damage here, I mean, you might as well.
Oh.
But the up tilt almost going to finish you off. Landing with shield, that's intelligent. Avoiding that throw as well, but not going to do a ton of damage with shield art online. Going to cancel it, go over to the speed. This is the rushdown we've seen work before. This is Cozy Wrath in their element. Can they finish it off here?
Oh. I'm shocked Starbucks did not go for the punish there on the whiffed backslash. May have been able to find them on their way back down, but Cozy Wrath really, like you said, Miles, in a great opportunity to snatch back a win! And they're going to be able to an amazing grab into, I believe, back throw into down air. That's going to spike Bowser into oblivion. What a turnaround!
Yeah, beautiful stuff right there. Woo! I could not believe that. I could not.
That was a reverse
but smash art. I mean, it's such a swingy character with Shulk, because you can get caught on the Buster Art and die instantly. You can lose 90%, and then you can just kill them at 50. And I don't even think they expected that to spike. Look at the DI. Oh, they tried the DI in and they couldn't make it.
There was like a fake hit into the real hit, which was then the spike, and I think the DI was for that weak spot hit. Then the spike came through, you're DIing the wrong way. There was not enough time to react. There was nothing to tech off of. It was just a one-way ticket straight into that bottom blast zone for Starbucks, who gave us an incredibly close series. But my goodness, Cozy Wrath, way to turn things back around.
Way indeed, as now, that's one heck of an advantage UConn has given themselves. Cozy Wrath is not one of the new players. They are a mainstay on UConn. They've been there for a while. I think they're the captain, if I'm remembering correctly. And now, well, here's the thing. George Washington doesn't even have to contend with who is coming up next. George Washington, I do know, is a very prepared team, so I have to assume that they have a plan for each and every one of these players, but if they don't, these are brand new players on UConn that they are dealing with, and, well, I'm not sure you're ready for the storm that they're bringing.
Yeah, there's going to be a fascinating situation here, and George Washington, as we mentioned, both these teams kind of on the up and up again, coming through large and in charge, finding themselves in winning positions. I am curious what George Washington's response is going to be. When George Washington beat Mississippi, we did not see Starbucks on that initial roster. We've got to wonder, are they trying to change things up, trying to sub new players into the starting five, or is it just because their roster's so big, they're trying to make sure everybody gets playtime?
Yeah, this is definitely an opportunity to do that. You have the players to clutch it out. One of the biggest new additions to the league, maybe even like a top 10 player in the EGF, which is saying a lot, is PokeBlue coming in, upsetting
Yes.
PokeBlue, I don't think has lost a set yet. Here's the thing. George Washington beat William and Mary without PokeBlue present. They weren't even there. George Washington is just that good, just that well-rounded. So the fact that Cozy Wrath was able to get these points on the board against a well-rounded team like this speaks volumes.
Yeah, 100%. I'm so glad you said that. I think I wholeheartedly agree. PokeBlue on that Mewtwo, one of, if not a top 10 EGFC contender, like you mentioned, a very strong player, and that is just one good player on the side of George Washington. Their roster, so unbelievably deep, probably one of the largest rosters I've ever seen in the EGFC. I mean, they've got quite a few players prepared to that back line, and that gives them kind of a sense of unpredictability. They can bring in so many players. They can bring so many people to the table just to find that opportunity to succeed, and that makes it much harder for other schools to research them because the roster could be 5 of any 17 players they have.
This could be bad. This could be bad, Septilence, because coming in next, we have someone Cringe. We've got Cringe coming in. Their name is actually Cringe coming out. And the thing about Cringe, an amazing player. They upset Mr. Man on both the ZSS and the Sora. The issue is they play Ness, if I remember correctly. And they're going up against Kemonito, who's on the Rosalina. Now, there are very few matchups I would call unwinnable. I don't think there is an unwinnable matchup in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. However, Rosalina does have this funny little ability to suck up any projectiles from a mile away. You know what Ness's up B is? A projectile.
Do you know what Ness's side B is? A projectile. Do you know what Ness's PK freeze is? A projectile. A lot of the combo openers that Ness is relying on, I think you've made a great point, are going to be negated, and you hit the nail right in the head. Ness, what is one of arguably the most important moves for any character in the game? The recovery. What happens when a player can't use the recovery? Miles, I think we're about to find out.
What this is going to revolve around, Sep, is making sure you keep Kemonito in disadvantage the entire time. You can't let them out of that jail, because if you do, if you end off stage without your jump, without your air dodge once, you're dead. You're playing Yoshi pretty much. You just don't have an up B.
Yeah, honestly, no up B at the ready. And it looks like the players are going to be bringing out a button check here in just a couple of minutes, so we got to wait for them to kind of run that through, and then we will be back around for their matchup in just a minute. But yeah, as Miles said, it was Kemonito v Cringe, and if they are bringing out their expected characters, Rosalina and Luma v Ness, I liked what you said. Not unwinnable, but it is going to be very, very difficult for Cringe to succeed anywhere that isn't center stage, and even there, I think Kemonito still has opportunities to snipe out combos and get rid of this Ness quickly.
Yeah, and if there's any character that can make sure you don't have an extremely flowing advantage state against them, who can cut off your combo tree at the root, it's Rosalina, who can get a lot of counter hits with Luma. I mean, she's not as good at breaking combos as some other characters, but even though for a tall, light character, you would think Mewtwo gets demolished. Rosalina, not so much, because Luma provides a constant threat.
Yeah, I love Luma. I think it's so goofy that Luma is kind of their own little character, and the way that Luma can die before Rosalina, I get such a kick out of it. It's such a silly little thing, and I think it's hysterical. But I don't believe, I'm 99.8% sure there is not another Rosaluma player here in the EGFC. I believe Kemonito is the only one, and I'm truly very excited to see what they're going to be bringing to the table. It looks like we're finally kicking some things off. Yeah, no surprises across the board. Ness v Rosalina and Luma. It's going to be regular Battlefield to start things off.
Yeah, immediate dash attack, but a nice dash away from Kemonito, already stuffing Som out, or Cringe out, but there's the opening. Now you're off stage. You go for the down air instead of the normal edge guard right there, but you're able to get the down smash, and there it is. That is the Gimp. More lethal than any Shine Spike.
That's it. Literally blink and you miss it. A single sentence from Miles in the very time it took to get that stock off of Cringe already. This is a huge opportunity for Kemonito to come in, come out swinging, turn things around for George Washington. A 3-stock here essentially ties things up. I mean, it is so unbelievably possible for Kiminito to put George Washington right back where we started, a tied game, and that's only one game deep into this best-of-3 series between these two players. There is so much opportunity. Cringe finally getting a little bit of space, a little bit of opportunity to strike, going for the hop into PK Fire, trying to cover the approaches for Kiminito, but the closer you get, I mean, it is just going to be this Rosaluma all over you.
And they don't even need that gimp to destroy you. That was just pure neutral wins. Cringe wasn't off stage once, but it didn't matter. They were being juggled. They were being forward aired. Whatever you need to stuff them out. Now you've got them off stage. How are you going to get them back on? Oh, going above the stage. Good way to avoid that yo-yo.
Yeah, a great way to stay away from the yo-yo, and it's going to be a great time for Kiminito to strike a 3-stock. Like I said, Miles can go, no pun intended, miles here for George Washington. There's a great opportunity, but 125%, a full rage Rosalina. That's 72% already. You are one grab back throw from death.
And spacing these back airs is not enough. Kiminito is able to get that forward tilt right there. Oh, but good drifting off stage like that. Good use of the air dodge. But coming off stage with that magnet is not enough. You think you're fine. You think you can pat yourself on the back. You avoided the gimp. But it doesn't matter because they're still on stage ready to cover any option you're going to go for.
I mean, that goes to show sometimes, believe it or not, we do know what we're talking about, and that matchup plays out exactly how we expect it to. Kiminito comes through, finding all 3 stocks onto Cringe, getting a little close there toward the end. It was, 120, 130 something, but a win is a win nonetheless. All 3 stocks on the board. Kiminito single-handedly bringing George Washington right back into this series.
This is one of the best player counter picks I think I have ever seen.
100%.
Cringe has proven themselves to be an amazing player. They upset one of Mississippi's best, Mr. Man. However, because UCONN won Game 1, it was UCONN who sends out their player first, and George Washington gets the player counter pick. And this is a scenario in which that comes in play. George Washington, I believe, is the most well-coached team in the EGF. Because of the way they have specific counters for every single player that they may come up against. Every single character has an answer. And Kiminito, they are the perfect one here and now.
And that goes almost just as far, right? Going back to how deep the roster is. Not only are they coached in such a way they have appropriate responses, but there's so stinking many of them that they're going to have an appropriate response for everything. It works out so unbelievably well. There are a few matchups in the game where I'm going to look at somebody and go, oh, Rosalina 100% wins this. There's so few instances I'm ever going to be saying that, but right now, I mean, Ness, this is arguably Ness's worst matchup in the game.
And even when that one big deciding factor doesn't even come into play, it doesn't really matter. Because the thing about it is it's always in the back of your head. You're always thinking, I can't get hit. I can't get it off stage. I can't get hit off stage. And while that thought process is taking up processing power, the rest of your brain is like, forward air? Forward air. Yeah, it seems a good idea. You're just dying.
Yeah, I am curious because a lot of the players we have here at the EGFC are specialists with a single character. And Cringe right now truly cannot play Ness again. I mean, it is almost a death sentence to do so. But then you kind of look at the both sides of the same coin. Do you go with the character that you know and love, the character you are very familiar with, or do you bring out maybe a secondary who's a little bit rougher but has a better opportunity to beat Rosalina? It is a serious toss-up.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't have a good answer for you right now, Seth, because against good players, it's usually the player-to-player head. But there is a reason top players pick up secondaries to cover their worst matchups. Because sometimes you just don't do it. You don't want to get upset by some random person. But this isn't even upset. This is Kiminito defending their throne, and they know exactly how to do it. Is the Pikachu coming out? Now the Kalos counter pick makes sense. Pikachu, fantastic on this stage.
Yeah, not only is Pikachu fantastic on this stage, but Pikachu, considered, a top-tier character in the game, has been since the very release. So even if Cringe isn't super well-versed in Pikachu, people are usually somewhat familiar with the playstyle.
Yeah. The thing that makes Pikachu so good on this stage is his ability to use every single little bit of space. However, if you can't even touch the ground, how are you going to do it? Your one hit is from a side B. Now Cringe is having trouble. They're just going to absorb that projectile, free as can be. Now you have an edge guard situation, but overcommitting on that option right there, Cringe is still feeling out this rat.
Yeah, feeling out this electric rat, trying to find the opportunity to perform a little bit higher than we were able to the last series. Cringe already up to 70%, and I'm worried because a huge part of the reason, well, not a huge part, but a big part of the reason that Rosalina worked so well against Ness is Ness weighs 5 pounds, and Pikachu certainly not any heavier.
Yeah, not at all. However, you are able to get Luma off stage, and you're pressuring with the back airs, but you've got to get out of this juggle situation. Pikachu, not punished as hard as other characters for jumping at a disadvantage, but it's been a pretty common habit from Cringe that Caminito is catching on to with these really extended up airs.
109 to 41, and Caminito, a very high caliber play style here, which is interesting because it's much slower than normal. We're seeing that they're playing slow, they're playing calm, cool, and collected, but with Rosalina, honestly, there's not really another way to play. No matter who you're going up against, I would personally consider her one of the slower characters of the game.
I mean, she definitely is, because that's where her strongest suit lies. It's the kind of player she attracts, looking to get counter hits, knocking you out of your own combos, taking away your opponent's disadvantage state. However, now you've got this opportunity to edge guard. A high recovery, that's going to be punished with down smash. Like I said, option coverage. You don't know what side they're going to land on? Just, well, go for a down smash. The up smash, though, going to be caught.
The up smash gets caught out, and golly, it looks like Cringe is just getting caught out right there. My goodness.
Now, here on Kalos, Cringe isn't really using the distance that they provide, and even though Rosalina will absorb some T-jolts, forcing her to commit to that absorb, sometimes a good idea. However, Caminito is making it so difficult for them to find room. If they give up space to go throw out T-jolts, Caminito takes it, either with themselves or Luma.
Caminito currently a full stock in the lead, but what a catch on that down air. Not able to find the stock, but still, that is a lot of free damage to come through. 112 to 92. Caminito still a full stock in the lead. It's going to be a great opportunity, but the Luma gets caught out. I love the capitalization, or rather the attempt from Caminito trying to find that to strike after the Luma is caught out, trying to catch Cringe in the later half of that move. But now it is a percent tie once again. That forward air may be what we need to succeed, but no, not going to be able to pick it up quite yet.
Super low from the depths. All the way back on to get that forward smash right there, and now just go straight to ledge. Yeah, you want to get as many points as possible right here after that early loss. Make every single chance count.
Yeah, this is not looking good for Cringe right now, and Caminito realistically could find the free stock, but 138. Pikachu needs a half-decent hit, and you're in the blast zone. So let's see if Caminito can walk away with 6 stocks all still intact here today, or is it going to be Cringe finding that first stock? Only time will tell, but either way, there it is. Time has told the story we wanted, and Caminito still 2 stocks left.
Cringe, though, I'm not sure they're going to be able to get out of this. This Nair up air stacks on a pretty penny of damage. Now you're only able to get the back air on Luma, but Rosalina's still going to hit you for it. Back airs. Can you get a Gimp right here? That could be huge. They went for the biggest combo they could have, but they weren't able to finish it. And even though you get Luma, you still have to finish off the princess.
You've got to finish off the princess not once, but twice. I mean, you've got to find that Rosalina a whole second time. You've got to get rid of that third and final stock. Then you've got to do it 3 more times to win the matchup there in this best of 3. But right now, Caminito looking to find this final elimination, 109. Pikachu not going to be able to withstand this kind of damage much longer.
And it feels like Cringe finally starting to find until they get caught out by an anti-air. You can only avoid a huge hit for so long when there are 2 characters throwing it out at the same time. Rosalina and Luma. Caminito going to be taking it home in dominant fashion over Cringe.
Yeah, Caminito really just a huge opportunity to strike there in game 1. That was simply a matchup diff, and into game 2, had to play it a little bit slower, change the play style just a bit, but at the end of the day, is going to win it. And best case scenario, you know, all Caminito had to do was win with a single stock. A win there guarantees your team a lead, an advantage there in the points, and they are going to be able to find it. Oh man, I love watching Luma get kills. That's so goofy to me. I love that so much.
Any puppeteer character just breaks your brain because you're like, you see a big lengthy hitbox being committed on the other side of the stage and you're like, oh, I'm fine, let me just, kaboom. You just get blown out by that down air. It's so difficult to deal with. I don't blame them for having trouble. However, doesn't make it easy. Oh, she's going back to the observatory.
Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know if it's just because I'm bad at this game, but Luma sneaks up on you. Really, Luma can get in, is sneaky and get in quick and find some great damage, but, you know, it's not always just the Luma. Rosalina certainly putting in her fair share of work there. Kiminito finding a double back-to-back victory, putting George Washington up 7-4 on the series. However, we are entering Game 3 coming up in just a couple of minutes, and this one, Miles, is almost always the most important because this game can guarantee a team's victory or at least give somebody a very comfortable lead.
Yeah, and speaking of comfortable leads, they've got, well, the original Clutch Master from UCONN coming in. It's going to be CISO, who runs, I mean, pretty much any combos-based character under the sun.
Sure.
I've seen them on Captain Falcon. I saw them on Falco once. However, Falcon seems to be the pick of the day. When they get shut out, they can have some difficulties, but they always find a way to adapt. But the one thing that I've seen shut them out are characters like Isabel, for example, who just control the ground game, stuff you out your approaches. You know who they're going up against? Projectile. That's their name. I don't know who they play, but they're going up against Projectile.
I don't know who that is either. I don't know if that's a name change or just a new player, but again, these rosters both seem to run so deep that there is such a large opportunity for both these teams to be bringing out players left, right, and center. Projectile,
No, I got nothing.
I think I also have nothing.
George Washington University came in late last year, and then going into this year, they didn't divulge all of their players because they didn't want to spoil everything. They had such a huge roster that they only gave us their starters. However, I've known Projectile has been on the roster since, the beginning of the fall semester, but I haven't gotten to see them play quite yet.
Yeah, I know nothing about them. It would be really funny to me if they came out as not a Projectile fighter. If they came out as anybody else, I think that would be really goofy. But with a name like Projectile, I mean, that really doesn't close our cone of possibility much more. We could see any of the Lynx. We could see Samus's. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and name every Projectile character in the game because there are a lot. But I'm curious. I just want to know what characters this player is going to be bringing out today.
Yeah, they've, according to me, quickly control effing our full sheet. They have at times come out going up against characters like Yggdrasil, and they've always gotten wins. It doesn't look like they've really slacked off. So this is definitely a much more of a specialist from the side of George Washington. Sure. Not coming out often, but maybe just coming out as, well, every now and then you need one thing. There's only one person who can fix this, and it's Projectile. Going up against CISO, though, it's not going to be easy.
Not going to be easy in the slightest. And I'd love to say, Projectile might be the Pokeblue of George Washington, but I think Pokeblue is the Pokeblue of George Washington, so I should think of a better metaphor, honestly. It's still going to be a really engaging matchup. I wonder, I don't know what characters they're going to be bringing to the table, but I wonder, are we going to be going to our more traditional stages, our Pokemon stadiums, our battlefields, or are we going to see something a little more niche? I can't remember the last time I saw Yoshi's Story. Kalos has been pretty common as of late. Lilat would be a weird one.
It does look like it's going to be Final Destination, which, hey, if you're here from Sepp and I's Twitters, you know that last night we saw FD all night for like
1,000 times.
Oh, it's gonna be the me gunner. Okay, I mean,
oh boy,
there's one character who can stuff out Falcon with the immediate barrage coming out.
Living up to the name Projectile here. Living up to the name Projectile, bringing out the me gunner. Now this was not on my EGFC bingo card today, Miles. This is quite fascinating, but it is working out well for CISO. Just cannot get in.
If you can't move, you can't combo me. That is what Projectile is saying here and now, as they've got the charge shot online. They're looking to confirm it, but a nice full hop from CISO gets them above it.
the Final Destination pick makes a whole lot of sense now because CISO cannot approach. I saw a player back at Riptide that their name was like 3333. They were also a Mii Gunner player, and they just spammed projectiles, and it was very similar to what we're seeing right now. But as we saw there, CISO needed 10 seconds to be in, and that was a stock.
Oh, but once you
way.
get that one opening, you need to have the punish game to follow up. If there's one character, one player I know who has that, it's CISO. All you need is one opening, the punish game matches up. So now you get the pop-up with the Nair, but not able to follow it up, but you still have a pretty sizable lead building, and Projectile, as good as they are racking up low % damage, they can't find this kill.
They could not find this kill at all. However, when they needed it most, they're able to put it down. However, a 70% advantage for Projectile, or against Projectile right now. CISO looking to strike, able to find, no way! Oh, how clean!
Okay, now where do you go if you're Projectile? I mean,
The blast zone.
Okay, yeah, the blast zone looks like it may be the option. Is where do you get out? Using this back air as a spacing tool as best you can, but even with that, it's not enough. You're still rapid jab off the stage. Can you cover it? No, the down smash will not space correctly, but you're just barely able to air dodge. I can't believe Projectile is surviving this constant beatdown.
It's incredible that Projectile's only at 86 with how aggressive CISO has been, but we've got to remember CISO a whole stock in the lead right now as well, so Projectile really going to have to kick it up a notch if they want to take this first series. They've got to find not only this stock, but of course one more. That is how the game works. Projectile looking to find some opportunities to strike, and they will not find that second stock yet, Miles.
No, they will not, as look.
Oh!
They might be able to find a way here. The ledge trapping, Mii Gunner infamous for their amazing ledge trapping, but the retreat to center stage, giving CISO an opportunity to continue the madness as they reach far and long with that Falcon dive. And now, how do you get past? You're able to beat out Falcon's up smash? Well, I'm pretty impressed, as you got one of your own just like that.
What an intelligent move from Projectile there. Perfectly zoned the Projectile to make sure CISO had one way to approach. They fell right into the trap, but the back air from CISO will put a Projectile into that blast zone for the first game. Only a one-stock win, though, Miles. And with a series as close as this is right now, every single stock is so unbelievably important.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, take a look at this. You're able to get right back onto ledge, and even though I would say, play the way you were playing on the first minute. But it wasn't that they were not playing that game. It was that CISO came out swinging.
Yeah.
Like, once CISO found a big opening, they were obliterating them. And, a spacing above that get-up attack? Beautiful.
Yeah, that was really good there. I mean, they dodged two or three projectiles on their way in, and then they were in the exact spot they needed to be. A really good performance there, and there were actually two stocks taken with the knee. I didn't even think about that. That is, I feel, a kill confirm we see players go for a lot, but we don't often see them land it.
Yeah, as now you've got to think, where am I slipping up? I think the biggest place where you could keep Falcon in disadvantage, besides just the neutral game, is on the ledge. Mii Gunner some amazing ledge trapping by setting up that proximity mine, I think it's called, right on the ledge, that little dot you see them throwing out that lays on the ground for a while. That is their best tool. It's not just a landing option. You get that as... Ooh. Going into this?
We're jumping right in, Miles. Yeah, we are jumping right back into this, and it looks like a run it back like never before. However, FB will not be the map of choice. Small battlefield this time, which may do more damage than good here for our friend Mii Gunner.
Well, it is CISO's counterpick, or Mii Gunner's counterpick. I think they just want this, they want the platforms as a sort of security option. They notice they're being approached from above the majority of the time by CISO, looking for stomps, so they take away that option with these platforms.
That's honestly a great point. I didn't think about that at all. I was thinking more, projectile-based, you want to give them only one way to approach, but I think you're completely right. Notice how now Projectile is spending a lot more time under these platforms because it is so much harder for CISO to engage. We are playing a war on two planes of existence here, above platform and below platform. Projectile 60%, able to get 140 onto CISO. Can they find the confirmed, though? That was our struggle last time. Ooh.
Yeah, is that up he had a shield once again going to be punished, but I don't blame him for going for it. You're obviously getting desperate, and that hug, well, it's a pretty sizable hitbox. Does he stuff them out? Do they have a jump? No, but they certainly have an up B, and they have an up tilt too to uppercut you straight into the blast zone.
Oh my goodness, that is incredible. That is just projectile coming out. Great. I love that bomb. I'm not sure what ability that is for me, Gunner, but that small mine that keeps finding the damage onto CISO has gone the extra mile time and time again. 146, it's going to be a full rage, but oh, that is a two-frame, I believe.
Yeah, sweeping the legs right there and sweeping the forehead too at that angle. As you're able to finish them off, now all you need, again, is just one opening. Just one opening, but a good forward tilt out of disadvantage right there. Projectile resets the situation.
Situation has truly been reset, only about a 40% difference, and oh, the knee on a projectile. That seems to be CISO's favorite kill confirmed.
Yeah, but is it enough? Can you find the finisher right here on the edge guard? Only a dash attack, but you couldn't get much faster than that. Ooh, but you're able to avoid the coverage, and finally, spacing around that get-up attack, a habit punished twice by CISO. They are on lock. They're in projectile's head, even if they can't get in on their personal bubble.
Yeah, absolutely. They are pushing into projectile time and time again, and now it is a full stock advantage for CISO. What a closer! Oh my goodness! I think Captain Falcon is one of the most fun characters to watch. Get those small, crazy combos just like that. What a good cleanup from CISO. That was fast.
Yeah, and I like that. They tried to go for these mix-ups instead of doing something that could be punished. Ooh, I thought that was down tilt. No, they got landing first hit in there to pop you up straight into the legendary stomp. Beautiful stuff right there.
I love the boots, honestly. I think they are so much fun. I think they're such a flashy move, and it is incredible to see CISO turn around two games back to back. They lose the first stock in both game 1 and game 2, and they win both of them as well, putting UCONN back in the lead. Not by much, I believe. 9 points, 9-7, so only a 2-point advantage here for UCONN right now. And George Washington, they've got more than enough time to pull it back.
More than enough indeed. As now, let us see, because it feels like George Washington, the strategy they're coming into after they lost that first game is a game of counter picks. Now you get to know who is being sent out, and you can pick the perfect counter to them. The question of who it's going to be.
It's been the day of the counters, indeed. That seems to be George Washington's at least primary approach on what they're bringing to the table. But overall, it's wondering, like you said, who's that going to be? Their roster is, I believe, the largest in the EGFC, so they have player potential like no other team here. And I gotta say, I said it once earlier, I'm gonna say it again, I am loving every second of these lesser seen characters, the Rosalumas, the Me Gunners. Like, I just love to see those weird little picks that we don't expect. I think that adds such a new level of entertainment to this whole thing.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, there really hasn't been a ton of representation for the Me Gunner. There are some others, like Iona College runs Yaliso, who is, I mean, very slippery, a lot more of a unique playstyle. I would say Projectile is a little more optimal, but it doesn't matter how optimal you get if you can't prevent Falcon from getting that one hit. Because then, you're not comboing a good player, you're comboing Me Gunner, who has a set amount of options in Ultimate. The SDI isn't that potent. If you have your punish game on lock, you're gonna get the hits.
Yeah, absolutely. If your punish game is on lock, you are going to find those hits indeed. And I don't think I've seen, I'm trying to think, in recent memory, I'm not sure the last time I saw a series this close after the third game. Usually, like I mentioned, the third game is where a team really starts to step up. The stronger players, the anchors, start to make an appearance and really clean up some extra points. But only a 2-point differential, that can go a very long way for either of these teams. I think if UCONN wins this one, we're a little more comfortable to say that it's over. But if George Washington, which feels somewhat likely with the players we've seen before, if they win this, we're going to basically be in an anybody's game for Game 5.
And, well, let's see. So we have Get coming out, a much less exploitable character than Cringe's Nest. They're going to be on the link, Mr. Consistency itself. You've got the Nair. I mean, it's every tool you could hope and dream for, and it clanks with every projectile in the game, which is good because you're going to get up against Over's Snake.
Oh, yeah. Snake v. Link. This is going to be interesting. And I honestly don't know if I know this matchup well enough to give somebody an initial leg up. I was a Link player in Smash 4, so maybe it's a little bit of bias, but I would like to see the Link be a little bit more aggressive. Like you said, Nair clashes with literally every projectile in the game, so it'd be a great opener. You can block grenades, try to catch the C4, and so on. But if this Snake knows how to use the projectiles efficiently enough, it's going to be really hard for this Link to find any approaches.
Yeah, I wouldn't say unless a matchup is literally unwinnable, I prefer not to focus on that simply because it's just these tiny little interactions. I can't say for sure who wins. What I do know is that Over has been clean with catching the edge guards. And I feel like if you're able to knock Link far enough off stage, you have to rely on bomb edge guards, which I don't think I saw from Get that much previously. However, bomb edge guards are the name of the game, specifically that Nikita. If you're able to intercept the path of the bomb recovery or the up B, Link just might straight up die. I'm not sure he can make it back.
Yeah, Link certainly does have a relatively exploitable recovery. It's with necessary projectiles, you can kind of catch them out, and the recovery is not great even when it's not interrupted. You've got to be somewhat close to stage to be able to use it and make it back. I think you've made a great point here, is moving in, we want to keep an eye on this Link. How often are they off stage? And when they are off stage, are they bomb bouncing to get back onto stage? Are they utilizing that play style a little bit more? Or is it going to be not as common? It's a little bit harder because the remote control bombs in Ultimate are something that was new with Ultimate. So the play style and how to use that move was changed. Maybe it's something they never learned or picked up, but either way, this could just be the game of the recoveries, because Snake's recovery is relatively exploitable as well.
Yeah, but you need a strong hitbox and to go off stage, and that is something that Link can struggle with. With the bomb, maybe. However, Snake isn't going to make it easy for you. Excuse me. It all depends on how and who is able to get each other off stage. Who is able to win this neutral game? Who is able to get you out there first? Who's able to stack the damage enough to even knock you off stage? That's what you got to keep an eye on here as we go into our first stage, Smashville.
Oh, I love Smashville. It's actually the first time we've seen Smashville today, so that's going to be an exciting change of pace. Sorry, I'm honestly using my foot to turn off my heater because it's getting a little warm in here, but I'm back. It's going to be Smashville, Link v Snake. This is going to be, I think, lesser so a battle of the ledge guards, more so a battle of center stage control, because whoever's in the center stage is going to be able to juggle their opponent a little bit more, play a couple steps ahead.
One platform to rule them all, and one zoner to rule. I mean, it can be busted. If you get under that center stage, you pretty much take away approaching aerials from your opponent. And maybe with a short hop you can sneak one in, but both these characters have options to stuff out those short hop aerials if you know that's all they're going to be going for. And neither of them, I mean, Snake has got some okay tilts, but like even then, Snake's try and claim forward tilt is a bad move, which I'm not sure I believe, but I think Snake does have a little bit of an edge with the dash attack. Dash attack, dash attack, dash attack. Online, that burst range is almost uncontested.
Yeah, the dash attack really can go the extra mile here for this Snake, and I believe we're going to be jumping in just a moment here. As I say it, I hear the locking in my ears, so now as we jump into Smashville, Link v Snake, this is going to be a fascinating matchup.
Yeah, and it all depends on how it starts out. Who gets control first? As immediately, I mean, projectiles coming out, bombs from both ends, but I mean, it is Over, or Get rather, who makes the initial call to, well, just say, nah, I'm rushing you down.
Oh, I love the nade catch there from Get, trying to approach a little bit more with it. Trying to negate Over's projectiles as quickly as possible, which is a very hard thing to do. A majority of Snake's kit is going to be projectile-based, and I love that attempt as well. Goes for the up special in an attempt to cover out, or excuse me, to make contact with that Snake recovery. A lot of back and forth right now, a 3% differential, finally an opening for Over. But it may be stolen right back, a 30% difference. All of a sudden, things looking rough for Get as they've been taken off stage. This is what we were afraid of.
Yeah, it certainly was. As now, look at this. You're able to try and find pressure on that shield, but Get, avoiding that tech chase. Now, you've got to be careful. You're getting into the range where soon up tilt is going to be a threat. A couple more grenade eats, and you're going to have a serious problem with that amazing kill move.
Yeah, 100%. Yet, choosing not to detonate the bomb on impact there, probably a good call, as there's usually enough time for the opponent to DI out of the explosion. Now the side special, going to be able to go up and through it. I love the attempt from Over, though. A little bit lower, and they would have been able to catch beneath the sword's radius.
Yeah, and there are ways around that. You can deactivate the Nikita if you want, but in general, it's just pressure. It's a way to make you pick an option, a scary option, and that's what you got to be worried about. Is you're able to avoid your own bomb explosion, but the scoop right there, the up tilt, is going to be the finisher.
Oh!
Yeah, they're just kind of whiffing around each other for the time being. But that's not too much of a problem. If we get the down tilt. Any more than that? Nah. You're going to get stuffed up by the Nair any day of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. And even now, we see Get really struggling to find these approaches, spending a lot of time off stage. That's exactly where Over wants them, trying to get over these abilities, trying to get over these opportunities to get back on stage, but it is just Over constantly in the right place at the right time. Or rather, their projectiles are.
Yeah, I mean, they're more or less dictating Get's options completely, but they weren't ready for that option. The raw forward smash to finish you off right there, chunking your health away.
It would 123% extra credit there for Over. Second stock finally being entered. I think there's an opportunity for Get to really get hyper-aggressive, find some times to strike. 33% is kind of a lot, but not nearly enough to walk away with a stock. Wow, that was a risky move.
Yeah, it was as... Ooh! Missing that tech chase right there. You don't really see that at this percent, but at this point, Get is getting to the point where almost anything will kill. That dash attack almost did. Now you've got to find them all the way down there. Yeah, too far away to go for the upbeat. Not close enough to do anything but die.
A one-stock advantage for Over right now. Get is looking for some opportunities to strike. Can they find anything with these projectiles? The shields have been the name of the game to block out a lot of damage. And Over doing a much better job hiding from that poke damage.
Yeah, as now, trying to approach right there. Reminiscent of melee, but now you're on a platform tech chase, able to avoid it. Now, where do you go from here? How do you find your way under this platform to where you feel safe? Now, getting the edge guard. Can you go down with the Nair? No, it's not enough to beat up the Cypher, and now you've got to get off ledge.
Yeah, I got scared there. I wasn't sure those magnet hands were going to connect, but it looks like Get finds just enough space to open things back up. Over is probably not worried right now. A full stock can lead. Sure, you're at 130, but every combo you land is about 30-40%, so one more good combo to enter those triple digits, and then it'll only be a subpar hit from Over to take that third and final stock.
Oh, this is an opportunity right here, but a brilliant edge guard right there from Over. It was clear Get wasn't ready for it, and because you weren't covering it, you're gonna die for it right there. As you die, do that up B.
Down aerial comes through. Now going for that side special again. What? Another very intelligent play from Over, trying to catch out that link, trying to read the roll-up. Triple digits finally being entered. The up special. Oh, it catches somehow. I thought the iframes were going to be there to save Get, but looks like they were not.
No, they weren't. As now, hashtag pressure in the shield. Get being a little lenient right here. Can you find a big opener? Link, not the biggest combo-heavy character, not the biggest comeback character, but Snake does have enough habit of finding you where you least expect it. You run in to punish the landing, but Snake already has that option covered. Read the book in advance and is here to dominate the quiz.
Did not just read the book, they full-blown memorized it, Miles. What a great closer from Over. Complete unpredicted there. Get walks right into it and did not quite get over that projectile.
Yeah, as you're able to see right here. I mean, just look at how these interactions are playing out 90% of the time. It's usually Over getting the better end of the projectile game because Snake just has more options and more, well, literally explosive options. And there are some little opportunities that Get had to play the projectile game, but every time you trade, it's Over who's benefiting.
Right.
Ooh.
Oh! Unfortunate there. And actually, we saw a lot of, from the side of Get, we saw a lot of attempts to Nair, the recovery from Snake, and they didn't land it a single time. So maybe moving into the next game, they'll be able to. The weak hit into the strong. It's second time we've seen that today. First with Shulk and now with Link. It is just a really lucky catch for those players.
Yeah, call it luck, call it 100% skill, whatever you want.
I like that it goes through him twice before it hits. Like, it goes right through Snake's feet twice, and then the third one's like, oh, gotcha!
Yeah, I mean... Well, hold on. This is a tentative situation right here. Was this the final kill right here? Going in to grab your bomb? Oh!
Oh, it's on the platform!
I didn't even notice that, mate. They went in for the bomb, but they found another one lying in wait.
It's on the platform. Wow. I just thought it was next to the bomb. That's incredible.
There, on the left side of the platform, you can see the bomb. I mean, I can't think of a better way to deal with that. And nah, you only get one little second of our beautiful faces because we're getting right back into the game as we speak, maybe. As, well, that was pretty close from Get. Even though that last stock was a little iffy, you were still able to keep it even. Now going to Town and City. Much less dominance on that center platform. We'll see what you're able to get done.
We'll see if this will be our first three-stage game of tonight. So far, it's been 2-0s across the board in either school's favor, but now this is Get's time to shine. I'd love to see them force us to a stage 3, especially because we're out of Animal Crossing stages. I wonder what they'd pick next.
Over comes right out and says, well, if you're not going to approach, I'm better at not approaching. As they get the immediate up throw. Can you get anything more than that? Nah. As, yeah, you got to get that C4 off the platform. It's going to do no good for you there.
Yeah, I wonder if Get is playing, like, really hype.
Over is getting a lot of mileage right now out of forcing these air dodges from Get with the up smash and then punishing them on the landing. Keep an eye on that, because if you're able to get a harder read, maybe you can get a little more
defensive right now.
Ooh. They get anything going? They're able to dodge the back air completely.
Great dodge there. It's gonna be, this feels a lot closer, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that we're playing so much slower. It's just, Get is trying desperately to make sure they don't overextend past Over, and Over's pretty much trying to overextend into Get, so we are really looking at two sides of the same coin here, but it's another explosive projectile that takes that first stock off of Get.
Yeah, now, you look at the back air. Can you get any more than that? That's the question right now. As Over, well, I mean, you're happy to just play this lead. Why wouldn't you be? I mean, if you look at where Get is playing, they're not really able to get huge openings. They're just able to get chip damage with maybe a landing back air with a Nair. And they're putting themselves at risk. Even though Nair is kind of safe on shield, I can't say that for certain. I do know that Over is able to punish misspacing. Woo.
Over full rage, 178. I think we're going to see another bomb attempt from Get, but or not, or a slight change of plans. But hey, that little plan change went a long way for Get, able to tie the stocks back up.
However, they're just trading again and again. Every time they land with a Nair, which has been their main approach option, they trade with this grenade. I mean, you're able to even out the percents pretty quickly, though, because Nair damage plus the grenade damage, I mean, that's all it really did. It put Get in kill percent, but it also put Over pretty close to it.
Oh, down onto the nade. A great opportunity to rack up a lot more damage, and approaching Snake from directly above is not exactly my top recommendation. It looks like Get is going to be learning that the hard way, as George Washington there looking to take the lead back once again.
Yeah, and that's crucial going into this, I think, fifth and final game. Yeah, because you need a way around this, but Over refuses to get this. Even from off stage, they managed to throw 2 grenades on and smack you with a Cypher for good measure. Now, where do you find this opening? The hero spin? That ain't gonna be it. Not with that grenade on the platform, which is gonna go off and somehow hit you all the way over there. Force the air dodge again. What can you get off of it?
Snake has been full rage for so long, it feels. Now it's just Projectile City looking to find that last stock off of Get. 2 stocks goes a lot further for George Washington in a game as close as this one than 1 stock would, but can overfind it before this stock is taken. Only time will tell, possibly an up tilt there. Not going to be able to find the opportunity to strike. Gets the bomb out of dodge, but they've got to get out of here.
Yeah, gotta get right now as... Oh, they went deep for that.
Oh!
Try. They
What?
got traded with?
What?
What happened there?
What was that?
Gets over-aggressive recovery option, or rather edge guarding option, gets them in a world of hurt. We've got to see this in slow motion. Okay, so they go on up, and the Cypher...
At what point does Get lose that? What happens?
I don't blame them. So Snake super armors through every single hit of this
Right.
FB except the last one. But the last one never comes out because you snap to ledge as you get hit by the Cypher. Was that untechable?
Was it untechable? I don't know.
But
Was
either way.
Get expecting that to happen? Absolutely not. They were not prepared to tech in the slightest off of that. Oh my goodness. He goes a little bit too high. He gets hit.
Yeah, that was techable. I saw the red for a moment. I thought maybe, but no. Completely techable right there, but completely unexpected. Taking back the lead for George Washington University in this surprisingly nail-biting set. But George Washington, plenty of, wiggle room in their back pocket. I mean, who do you send in? You can send in Mr. Consistency Cranberry, the rising star Pokeblue. George Washington might have this in the bag.
I really think they might, Miles, especially after such a convincing performance from over there. I mean, really a great job on the Snake. And this matchup was, like we said, a bit of a weird one, but Over really did it with incredible prowess. A great opportunity to put George Washington back in the lead. But the weight of this win is now on the shoulders of our 2 remaining players from UConn and from George Washington University. It's really just going to come down to this best of 3 on which team walks away with a win tonight.
Now, here's the thing. Here is the thing. They're going to be sending in Utopia less, and I don't even mind spoiling anything at all, because while we get these technical difficulties handled, let me explain to you. Utopia has the biggest ego out of any Ganondorf player I've ever seen. The things they believe they can get away with are laughable. And yet, they hit Mario. They play Mario Ganondorf, and they hit MIA themselves with Ganondorf's up tilt. That's the level of mind games they're on. I mean, mind games, that's a 2004 strat, and yet they're making it work here on this Ganondorf.
I love I hesitate to call them goofy because I don't want to talk down to any of the characters. I think these are all very incredible characters to play at this caliber, but I love those lesser picked, those unexpected characters. I think they're so fun. I think they're so entertaining, and I would love to see a Ganondorf make an appearance here today. I think that would just be a hoot.
Now, I think they would. I think they are going to run it because I didn't see any hint of any other character going up against Mario. And if you're okay... Now, the other thing I've got to mention, they're on mind games on every sense of the word. They counterpicked MIA's Mario to Yoshi's story. That is maybe one of the most unwinnable matchups I've ever think. And so they're going to start on a fairly even stage PS2 against Rip Van Winkle.
Yeah, Rip Van Winkle.
Hypothetically, you completely shut out Ganondorf.
Exactly.
But I've seen miracles happen.
Yeah, truly. I mean, this is going to be a incredible matchup across the board. Rip Van Winkle was kind of the star-studded player for George Washington for a while. But yeah, I mean, Utopia is just immediately giving a masterclass for Rip Van Winkle here today.
They're already off stage! Oh no, George Washington. Could this be a mistake? Rip Van Winkle needs to clean things up here and now, because Utopia, you can't look at this character and count them out.
You truly cannot. Wow! Oh my goodness! I mean, it's worth it. We absolutely take those. You're already in a great position to put Rip down in less than a minute. It's been 50 seconds, Miles.
Yeah, if you're Rip, you've got to slow this down. You've got to play like every Wi-Fi Wii Fit trainer on the planet, because if you don't, then Utopia is going to take away this victory for you. This lead is going to evaporate before your eyes. And you can't lose the set.
Yeah, if Utopia wins with 2 stocks left, there's a 1-point difference between the schools. And right now, I mean, Utopia is all over Rip. We talked about zoning out again and being your primary approach and your primary playstyle, but Utopia simply not letting that happen. It is just the hard aggression and not giving Rip time to think about what the next move is going to be, forcing him to play entirely off of a reactive playstyle. Rip may be able to, will possibly find that set. Yeah, finally, no! Oh, come on! I thought that was a guarantee, but Utopia clawing back 135 on the board.
When you only have like one, nice up air right there, but when you only have one recovery option, you learn how to use it to maximum efficiency.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that was it. I thought it was just the one hit and that stock was over, but no. Rip Van Winkle, 97%. The dream! Oh, and the dream is shattered! What a catch from Utopia. The angle on that move just covers an entire arc, a full half circle across the board, and Utopia giving us easily our quickest match of the night.
Yet Utopia coming out swinging in a big way, and Rip Van Winkle was not ready for it. When we talked to MIA about how they defeated this Ganondorf, how they felt about going last hit, last stock against the Ganondorf, you know what MIA said? They said, I saw them hit me with that up tilt, and I went, okay, this person does not get to play the game. That's what you have to do to this character. Because if you give them respect, if you respect the king, it's over. As that rising nair, and you even trade with the up B, which gives you an opportunity to get an up B. If they up B in the right direction, they would have made it back.
Yeah, just facing the wrong way. That hurts. That is really going to hurt. And I've got to say, Utopia doing such a good job. I said it once, but now that we've got a little bit more time to touch down on it, the number one way for Wii Fit to win there is to zone out Ganondorf, not let them play, not let them get anywhere near you. But it was just the way Utopia never gave Rip more than 5 feet of distance. They were just collapsing on top of that Wii Fit time and time again. It went the extra mile every single time.
And UCONN, after a rough start of the season, is carried on the back of Ganondorf. No, I don't even want to say carried. All of their players have leveled up over winter break in a way that I can't even comprehend. I mean, UCONN was a school that many people wrote off for even making it into the playoffs at times. Yeah. And now here they are coming in looking like, I mean, upset guy. They did well against Mississippi, the reigning champions. And now here they are against George Washington, not only the Mississippi Slayer, but on the come-up. George Washington, I'm not sure if they took this completely seriously, but you can't even use that John here. They played some of their best players. They did shutout matches, and they still are on a nail-biter set. Rip Van Winkle needs to keep this lead alive if George Washington University wants any sort of victory.
And Rip doesn't play, to my knowledge, anything else. So I'm expecting a complete and total run back. Wii Fit v Ganondorf. We've got a skin change, but other than that, I mean, it's just going to be that same run that we're going into Kalos, I believe. So not exactly the dirty run back, but a PS2 related one anyway. I hope these platforms maybe work out a little bit better for Rip.
Yeah, you're going to die off the top last. If you get spiked, you have an opportunity to tech on this side. A good counter pick overall. And zoners, they love the lack of platforms. As you're able to get that spot dodge, very nice option coverage thus far. Remember, 2 hits and it's even, and one wrong move off stage and you're dead.
Yeah, and we saw how great the ledge reads were from Utopia. Every time Rip tried to get back on the stage, they would bite the bullet. But Rip now really coming back to life. They played the first game, things were a little bit rough, but now they know Utopia's play style. They know what this Ganon's going to be looking for, and they're trying to capitalize off the back of it. Rip moving forward, looking for the time to strike. And I've got to say, playing a little bit slower, going for the less flashy moves, but racking up damage very quickly.
Yeah, remember when I said you can't let them play the game? A majority of Ganon's moves are being stuffed out before the startup even happens.
Yeah, oh wow, I thought that caught for a moment, but no, that side special is not going to catch for Utopia. 93%, but Ganon hits twice and things are tied up, so Rip has to play very careful, has to float like a butterfly, and honestly kind of just play like a butterfly. You cannot get close, you've got to play floaty and distant for as long as you can.
And that's exactly what they're doing. There's been no huge openings right here as this deep edge guard is it going to come back to bite you? No. Instead, you get caught by the up air. And with deep breathing, that almost kills. Has to dip low to avoid the header.
The header could have gone the mile there, but yeah, had to dip low to get it. They make it back on the stage, and now 156 to 66. Not even sure what the trade right there just was, but I'm sure Rip is stoked about it. A great dodge on the header to get past the boots, but the up special from Utopia, a great call there to keep the dream alive. A 156% difference right now between these two, but for Ganondorf, that's like 4 hits.
The crowd is cheering right now for Ganondorf as, well, Rip Van Winkle is saying, nah, get that spotlight on me because I'm playing this matchup textbook, perfect, clean, with some nice Wii Fit combos to cap it all off.
Rip is doing a really good job baiting Utopia with that neutral charge, that neutral special on the side of Wii Fit. They'll use it a little bit and then immediately bust out a move or bust out the shield. And Utopia's fallen for it, I mean, 5 or 6 times at this point. And it looks like that seems to be Rip's bread and butter moving into the latter half of this game. Now, over 100%, Rip a couple of hits away from being able to find his third stock and giving us our first stage 3 of the day.
Ooh, that landing header put Utopia in a horrible position, and that side B off of ledge is becoming an uncomfortable habit for the King of Evil himself. Now, landing, can you find an opening?
Oh, good read on the neutral charge there, able to catch that out. The boots come down, but a weird trade. A good enough one for Rip Van Winkle, 80% on their second stock. Looking for that kill confirm. This could be a huge opportunity for George Washington.
Yeah. Can you get the finisher, though? Can you get these points on the board? Time is now. You've got to finish strong. Where does the win come out? The landing there, that caught Utopia in the past, but not this time. Going to avoid the tech chase, though. Heavy emphasis on the spot dodges, but you're still going to be living.
Oh my goodness, Ganon just so heavy, 188%, but you're going to fall for it twice. What a read from Rip Van Winkle to keep the series alive and keep George Washington in the lead. I'm not going to go and try to do technical math here, but now I believe Utopia has to 3-stock to give UCONN the win here today.
Or 2-stock to get a tie, which I think they'd just
tie, yes.
Yeah, they'd be just as happy with that. And Utopia, here on Kalos, you could see how uncomfortable they were at all times. There was no landing mix-ups, and they were very aggressive at all times, which is usually a good thing. But the side B's off ledge, landing directly on top of Wii Fit. How many times did they try and land on top of Wii Fit and then teleporting right there? That's Sephiroth's deal, but either way.
This whole play was so funky. Like, what a good header from Rip to get up and around. Utopia falls for it a little bit and then finds the up special to pick up Rip. I think we're supposed to look at the damage here, according to Kevin, our producer. 80%
to an up B.
And then it turns into an up B. So actually,
maximum rage, baby.
Yeah, that is insane. Pretty much a free kill there. As soon as that up special connected, that was nearly impossible for Wii Fit to survive.
And again, on Utopia's counter pick, there could be a little bit better mileage. Because again, no landing mix-ups means, well, you don't have a ton of options. However, what options they did have, they didn't use. How many times did they try and land on top of Rip Van Winkle with a down air? Let me count the ways. 1, 2, 3. I mean, and every time it was either up tilt, or when the percent got high enough, just straight up air to stuff out the down air before it even came out.
Yeah. Utopia's goal now is, of course, to attempt the 3-stock, a very difficult thing to do. They came mighty close in game 1 of this matchup, but a 2-stock will tie it up. And that actually, fun fact, that would be the first tie I ever cast in my 4 splits here at the EGFC. So I would love to see it. Going to Lilac, that is not the stage I was expecting.
Not at all, but it might just be a comfort pick. I know Utopia likes to get in their opponent's head, and the thing these 3 platforms provide, tech chases. Consistent tech chases, non-stop.
Oh my goodness. Things looking a little bit rough there. I thought Rip was going to get spiked into oblivion, but somehow makes it through. Taking a bit of damage, trying to go for that slower, more patient play style once again, and I am all for it. I think that's exactly what Rip needs to do if they want to win this. They've got to watch out with those roll get-ups because Utopia has punished those a lot.
Yeah, Utopia with an early lead, but now you're above Wii Fit, but the landing fair does get you out of that situation. Oh, going deep with that up air is not going to pay off. But now you got the ledge coverage, the up smash going to finish them off.
Dang, the range on that thing is absurd. Honestly, that is incredible to see a range like that. My goodness, already Rip losing that first stock, not even a minute into the matchup yet. Utopia, 80%. Oh no, what a great shield from Rip. That could have been beyond disastrous, Miles.
Yeah, and now Rip has to find a way in again. Ooh, another tech chase situation that Rip DIs away. You DI up to avoid that platform again and again. Rip playing that correct, coming correct, but can you stay correct long enough to survive the onslaught?
This brief couple of seconds where Rip is just running for their life against this Ganondorf. It's going to be still the restock possible. A deep send with that down special, the wizard kick from Utopia there. A 3-stock here guarantees a win, but not 155. Utopia is most likely going to be fighting for a...
Are you kidding? Okay, a tie is on the table, but Rip Van Winkle, an opportunity to end it here and now. You don't want to risk things. If that is one thing Utopia has taught you, never underestimate UCONN.
Yeah, 100%. Rip Van Winkle is fighting. This is basically a last stock scenario because Rip only needs one more to make sure that George Washington walks away with the win, but Utopia already 27%. That is like 2 good Ganon hits from a blast zone death, 70% and counting. Utopia able to catch them out with the up. Oh man, this is going to be a difficult one for Rip to get back up. Hopefully they don't roll in because it'll get punished with the miss. The whiff! That's huge! That's not going to be the stock confirmed yet. The header misses. Pressure's on. The down air also going to miss, but he goes too deep!
The early up B, and that's it! Rip Van Winkle is able to clutch it out with the bait. And now are you able to use that broken morale to finish off the set? Because it's not quite over. Can you beat them on their counter pick? Utopia goes for the up tilt, but the low end lag lets them throw out the forward air right after.
This is going to hurt too because it's not quite over, but it is over to a certain extent. So even if Utopia does win this, it's going to be a 1-point differential, a 1-point loss. However, Rip is trying to send a message deep into UCONN's back line, looking for the opportunity. 93%. This truly could go either way. I think Ganon has, a little bit more statistical odds. It's going to take less hits, but with the way Rip is flying right now, I'm not sure Ganon's going to get close enough to land one.
Yeah, that is the tricky part. Forcing a jump right there. Can you catch the platform? No. Instead, you get hit by the header spike. No. Utopia shut out. Their controller is unplugged. They can't do anything except get splattered across the screen as Rip Van Winkle gets the reverse 3-stock, making a statement as George Washington saves themselves from what could have been the upset of the night.
Oh, what a good series. That's one of those series where, I'm afraid for the rest of the night because I don't know if we're going to get anything as entertaining as that just was. Absolutely incredible, breathtaking performance from George Washington, Rip Van Winkle in particular, especially after that first game. I was really getting worried, but way to go, Rip, to turn things around like that and find that opportunity to take out this Ganondorf. What an incredible series. I'm just flabbergasted.
Yeah, the tie would have been amazing, but I have to say, Rip Van Winkle showing that, hey, there is a way you deal with Utopia. There is a reason this is a bottom 2 character. Because when you play the game right, they don't. And you have to go for these huge overcommitments in order to get any mileage as Ganon. You saw that low up B there. The reason they waited there is because they wanted to grab the up B, grab them in a hug, and kill Rip Van Winkle shockingly early.
That was, I believe, the only stock Rip took with that neutral charge. We saw a couple attempts, many of them unsuccessful. We only saw it twice on Lilat, excluding that kill confirmed there. So a fascinating matchup, truly. That was just an incredible performance. And I believe we're going to try to get an interview with somebody from George Washington here in the next couple of minutes. We're going to throw it to a short break. Everybody use this time. Get up, get water, use the restroom, do whatever you got to do. But we've got an interview with, I believe, Rip Van Winkle in just a couple of minutes. We'll see you soon. What is going on, everybody? And welcome back, my friends, to the interview with Drip Van Winkle himself and apparently 3 other people, but the Wii Fit trainer extraordinaire that we saw here tonight. So, Rip, a very simple question for you, man. I mean, you really had to step it up a notch. You had to kick it into 5th gear in that final matchup. So, do you feel there were any specific changes you made right away? You thought, I've got to make this happen in order to win? Or was it just kind of a luck of the draw situation?
You know, in that last game, I just kind of had to let everyone know that I'm anchoring for a reason, you know? I got to bring it home when it counts the most. You know, I got to be an inspiration to my teammates, I suppose. Let's go, boys.
Woo! Yeah, and you definitely have earned that anchor spot after that 3 spot, but turning to the game as a whole, it felt like UConn is a different beast coming into this spring split. How ready were you for the pain train that UConn was bringing?
Oh, dude, not at all. Let me tell you, they are one of the hardest teams to scout for, considering they had like 4 forfeits and they still somehow managed to field 14 players. I don't know how they did. I don't know how they managed, but yeah, no, we barely did any VOD review on them. We mostly just focused on ourselves. We were like, oh, what kind of habits can we fix? What kind of things can we do to just make sure our games are more solid? Yeah, no, literally no preparation on UConn. That was kind of, we were just going in on it. The 4:30 time slot, a lot of our players can't really make, so we had to do with a couple replacement, but they did exactly what they needed to today, so that's awesome.
Yeah, so I actually want to ask a question related to that. You guys have a similar thing where your roster feels like it's hundreds of people at this point. So as we move deeper into the season, are you going to be bringing out a more consistent roster or even a less consistent roster? Are you looking to find kind of a starting 5, or are you still just kind of throwing people in as they come?
I mean, we have our best 5, I think, at this point, pretty set. Our best 5, 6, or 7, around that range, but at this point, we're just like, I mean, student schedules are a little bit hard to plan around. You just can't really tell, you know, when people are going to be available and when they're not. But I think that just goes to show that we are a team with really good depth, and we're going to test your depth all the way from the 1 spot to the 5 spot. You know, if there's any holes, it doesn't matter what team we're fielding. We're gonna test you all the way down.
Yeah, and you have been hyped up time and time again as one of those consistent teams throughout your whole roster. Now, the fact that you've gotten the win over William and Mary without PokeBlue, and then saving yourselves from this upset, what do you feel that says about you going later into this season?
Man, I just think people should be afraid. You know, we got Mississippi down, we got William and Mary down. We want the Paul, yeah.
That would be a feat. That would be impressive.
Right now, they're not in our schedule this year, but I want to see them in playoffs. I really do. They're a team that we always look up to, jokes aside. We do want the follow-up.
EW is more than just PokeBlue, you know? We got
Absolutely. So, Rip, just one more question for you before we let you go. Is there anybody you'd like to give a general shout-out or just a thank you to while you're here on the interview?
Yeah, big Nathan. Our coach, EDM, always looking out for us. Always making sure that, you know, we know why we're bad. No, that's pretty much the coaching philosophy here. He just tells us what we're messing up on, how we can kind of adjust our mentality to make sure that we're attacking those things in particular. Like, oh shoot, we have bad jump habits, or we have bad rolling habits, or we have just whatever's going on. He'll play specifically to punish that, and I think that's been helping us a lot.
Oh, also, really quick. Vote for Cytonics to get into Apple Esports.
Yeah!
EDM Pride.
Yeah, EDM sponsored. Great. He's an awesome Ken, and we would love for him to, you know...
Yeah, to the next step of the Smash journey, you know. Awesome. So be sure to vote for him for Apple Esports right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us for the interview. I really appreciate it, and y'all knew I was rooting for you from the start, but I'm really excited to see what you guys are bringing out down the line. We'll see you soon.
All right. Great. Good seeing you guys.
And with that, folks, we're going to be throwing it to a super short break. I believe we're getting a little bit of a, confirmation on what our next game is going to be, so we're going to get all that in just a couple of minutes. Use this time, get water, get food, do whatever. We'll come right back here for some more EGFC SSBU in just a bit. We'll see you then.